You know, on super rare occasions, I know things. It's few and far between, I'll give you that. That on a daily basis, I do a lot of silly stuff and I'm an idiot. I give you that, all right? I know. But in 2026, these new bikes come out. I'm struggling with, I've talked about this before, the CVO ST Street Glide and all that. And I actually just went over my Street Glide, and I think it might be a really good deal. I can hear the comment section already. Here he goes again, trying to tell me something expensive is a good deal. I'm just saying that I just went over my 2024 Street Glide, and in a lot of ways, a CVO ST would have been a better deal than what I did. And just something for your consideration. Now, they didn't make a CVO ST Street Glide when I got my bike. It's the reason I got a regular one. Mike from Riding the Ozarks said the same thing the other day. He was like, oh, he goes, I wanted a CVO ST Street Glide. He did say, he's like, I don't know if I would have been in a financial position to buy one, but that's the kind of the bike I always wanted. Premium suspension and paint and audio and inverted forks and motor and all that sort of stuff from the factory, and that's what a CVO ST is. But they didn't make a Street Glide CVO ST, and I definitely wanted a Batwing, so did he, right? So we both bought regular Street Glides. He bought a white one, I bought a Whiskey Fire one with chrome, as God intended, and that's what I started with, and then just shovel, just back the truck up, open the door, and started shoveling cat. Picture like Uncle Scrooge was swimming in the gold, and anyway, I just started throwing money at the bike like crazy, and ended up building something that is 99% there. Like the body is still basically stock, but like it's 99% there and it's pretty badass. And then now we find out that on January 16th, we're gonna find out, or we're gonna see that there is a CVO Street Glide ST. Street Glide CVO Street Glide ST, I think is what you call it. I did the math on mine. I went line by line comparing what that bike in 25, now mind you it's a Road Glide, but in 25 what that bike has and what it costs versus what my bike costs and what I put into it, and it's a better deal. The CVO ST is a better deal. So if you can afford it, I give you that. In 2025, a Road Glide CVO ST. Cut me some slack on something real quick. I am jet lagged in a way that I cannot even comprehend. I went just this last week from Florida to Los Angeles. That's back 3 hours. Then 17 hours forward to Tokyo. Then 2 hours back to Bangkok, then 15 hours back to LA, and then 3 hours forward to South Florida. It's January, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't know what friggin' day it is. So if I slur, act stupid, or forget something, just please cut me some slack, because I am not here. Anyway, so my 2024 Street Glide, if you bought it today, would be $27,999 or thereabouts, right? It's Whiskey Fire, so it's not the gray, but it's not the two-tone. So let's just say 28, right, is what a 2026 Street Glide would cost you. Right now, because we don't know what the 26 is going to cost. Mind you, it might cost a lot more. Don't know. But right now, in 2025, the Road Glide CVO ST costs $44,999, and the only color option's Hot Lap. Well, the Hot Lap's like $5,000, so I probably wouldn't have ponied that up. I love the red. This red line red or something like that, I'll put a picture. I love this bike, so that's probably the one I would get. $44,999. Forget about taxes and fees and stuff, because you're going to have that on anything. So that's a moot point. People always go, well, what about taxes and fees? You're going to have that anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let's just set that aside. And if your dealer is a little heavy with the pin on the fees, which a lot of them are, I know, then go to a different one. Go a state over. Do whatever you got to do to not get abused by your dealer. Anyway, so let's just forget about that. $44,999. A new Street Glide, call it 28, $27,999. I went around my Street Glide and looked at things that are comparable to the CVO ST, right? Not exactly the same. I'll give you an example. I have a tour pack. I'm not going to put that in my math because that's not something that's separate. That's an accessory you'd have to put on the CVO ST. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to compare things that CVO ST already has right now in 2025 versus a new Street Glide. Again, big asterisk, we don't know what the 26 is going to have. It could have a 135 and it could be hybrid. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. It's not going to be. But we don't know what it's going to be. But let's just try this. First off, rims. I have wheels on my bike, custom Harley-Davidson wheels that involve a lot of labor. There's a wheel installation kit. Believe it or not, I don't know why, but shops charge a lot for just to dismount and remount and balance tires, right? So there's a lot of that sort of stuff. So I said $3 grand. I think that's light. I think it'd be more, right? Because it got the wheels, got the install kit. I drove my own bearings in. I mounted my own TPMS sensors and then just took it and had the tires mounted, and even that was a little excessive. But I said $3 grand, okay? Forks. Again, this is not a fair comparison. I put $1,200 to put chrome ones on it, right? Roughly. But, and that's actually what actually had suspension technologies do the suspension, all that sort of stuff. But the CVO ST is inverted forks. Inverted forks to put on a bike is thousands. It's probably back to 3-ish again, right? So it's not apples to apples, but I put $1,200 for my forks, but that CVO ST has $3,000 worth of forks on it, so you can't even really compare that, so keep that in mind. Bars, I put $1,700 in bars on it. That was probably a mistake to write that up here because the stock CVO ST has stock bars anyway. So let's knock that off. Actually, that's a wash for the forks. Let's just leave it at that, all right? Motor work. I put a cam in mine, which is probably, I don't know, $2 grand at a dealer or something like that. Something like that. But that's not equivalent to a CVO ST. To do an equivalent amount of motor work to a Street Glide, you're $5,000 to $6,000, right? To put a 121 kit in it or a 131 kit, which would be more. I'm just saying, if you did a motor kit and with install at a dealer, you're probably $6 grand-ish. I know when I did a 131 swap, the labor was $2. That was a crate motor swap. That's not as intense as rebuilding a motor. That's just pulling a motor and swapping it out. That was $2 grand in labor, all right? Seat. CVO ST does have a cool seat. The stock seat is a lot, you know, less, so I just said $500. So let's do that. Audio. CVO ST has a 2-speaker stereo system. It has the Rockford Fosgate and the amp and the speakers and all that stuff. Let's call that $2 grand. And that doesn't include install, right? Anyway, let's just call it $2 grand. I'm trying to be giving here. Accessories in general, floorboards, pedal, shift pedal, flat out bar. What else am I looking at? All kinds of little stuff that a CVO always comes with, including a CVO ST. They have different boards and grips, all that sort of stuff. Let's call that $2,500, and that's actually pretty giving, right? Because you have a lot of little things you get on a CVO. The forged carbon fiber front fender, I didn't even think about that. That's a lot of money. The carbon fiber dash piece, I don't have that. It's a lot. So I'm being very giving again when I say $2,700. Now, that adds up to about 17 grand. It's the exact difference in the price between a CVO ST and a Street Glide. $27,999 versus $44,999. The difference is 17 grand. Now, here's the biggie that's not in there. My Street Glide, and any Street Glide you buy for $27,999, will have a base color. It'll be, what colors are, I don't, and actually it won't be a base, it won't be 27. What is 27? That's black, isn't it? $27,999 is like black, and then it's always a couple $100 for different colors. My Whiskey Fire costs a little more. That's a base color. The CVO ST comes in a special color. So that doesn't include any paint work you would do to put a custom paint job on it. That's roughly at least 5 grand. Paint's expensive. Some of you right now are going, that's not that much. Dude, you haven't painted anything in a long time. It's expensive. Material costs have gone through the frickin' roof. If you were to paint, let's say you have a black Street Glide, you take it to a shop and say, I want it to be Whiskey Fire, and they order the paint from Harley, they're gonna have $1,200 to $1,500 in material costs, like literally just buying the paint. By the time you buy the clear and the sealant and all the other stuff to do it right, you're gonna have $1,500 to $2 grand in material costs before labor. A paint job is an astronomical amount of money. So you're looking at about $5,000. So, as insane as it might sound, right now, it would have made more sense to buy a CVO ST than it would have been to buy my Street Glide. Now, you could say, yeah, my bike's cooler in a way because it's not an off-the-shelf bike. It was done by me. It's all a bunch of my favorite parts manufacturers, and the floorboards the exact ones I want. And that's not wrong. You're not wrong for looking at it that way, because when you buy a CVO, you have to like everything that's on it. Otherwise, there's no value there. But I like the stuff that comes up on a CVO ST. Oddly enough, the stuff that comes on it's what I have on my ST. It's the same floorboards and stuff. That's what I bought and put on there. So I do like that stuff. I love that red. That red is badass. I love those wheels. They're like a cast outer rim with like the spokes in the middle. Like I really like the wheels that come on it. Do I like these wheels better? Maybe. But the point is, $27,999 and then forking out $17,000 cash. Here's a big one. What do I have now? 2024 Street Glide. Doesn't matter. Accessories definitely increase saleability of a motorcycle. I saw somebody talking about this on Reddit the other day. They didn't get it. They were really pissed off because I think it was their first Harley and they had put $15,000 into the bike and then thought, well, the bike was 25 and I put 15 in it, so I'm gonna ask 40. No, that's not how that works. The money you spend on accessories, definitely for some people want stock. They want unmolested, they want left alone. I'm kind of in that. When I buy a used bike, I kind of want a bike that has not been modified. But for some people, it definitely increases saleability that already has audio and a cam and stuff. I totally get that. You're saving money. It doesn't necessarily add to your price. That money, for the most part, is gone. It's very easy to negotiate. I don't care about your $2,000 on audio. That money is gone. You spent that money. You didn't invest it. When you buy a CVO ST, the VIN number of the motorcycle is CVO ST. It's always going to be worth more than a regular Road Glide. It always will. I mean, you can look at bikes right now. Go look at used bikes right now. If there's a 2024 CVO and a 2024 regular Road Glide, the CVO is going to cost more by quite a bit because the VIN number says CVO. Therefore, different model, different motorcycle, different price, different loan amounts. You can actually get a higher loan on a CVO. There's all kinds of different things. But if you can't afford $44,999, I get it. I'm not trying to kick you and say it's a mistake to not buy a CVO. I'm not saying that. I totally get the fact what the camera's insane today. I totally get that it might not make sense to spend that kind of money. Maybe you can't afford a $900 bike payment. I totally get it. I'm just saying, if you can, and you're gonna do all this stuff in the first place, your money's better spent on a CVO. Seems wacky, but it's true. Anyway, so I'm struggling with this myself. That's the reason why I bring it up. I've spent this money. If I sell this bike, what's it worth? If I sell my Street Glide to fund a CVO ST, if I hope that maybe I get a little bit out of the mods that have been done to it, I don't know, 21, 22? Could I even ask that? I don't know. I mean, probably. I think you could get 21 for it, 22 for it, right? Just because if it was custom painted, sometimes there's value there. But I think that's kind of a number that would be reasonable, 21 or 22,000 for it. So I've lost a ton of money, but not until you sell it. The money's not gone until you sell it, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I'm struggling with this right now. Do I do that and just go, well, the CVO ST is the bike I always wanted? Or do I go all in on this and put a 131 and 135 in it? I don't know. We'll find out on January 16th because we'll see what the colors are. We'll see, you know, if the colors aren't great, would I just do something cool like a carbon fiber body anyway? I'm trying to figure this out. I'd really like all your input. Like, what do you think? I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but I am truly interested what some of you would do if you did the same thing. If you've invested a bunch, but you wanted those inverted forks and you wanted the factory motor work and you wanted all this sort of stuff, and maybe some cool new colors you're going to come out with, what would you do? All right, anyway, so help me through this. I love you all to death. Take care of each other, and I am home. We'll talk real soon.